Hello, Internet, and just like MatPat, the Wii U is dead. MatPat's not dead. The Wii U technically isn't dead, I guess, but the online service, it's dead. And that means we can no longer play Splatoon 1. And because of that, I wanted to make this retrospective where we just talk all about it. We talk about the lead up, the launch, and the legacy of Splatoon 1. So let's get into it. Splatoon was unveiled all the way back in E3 2014. It was one of the last major announcements of that E3 presentation, and Nintendo did something really cool. They brought out the developers of the game to further explain what Splatoon was. When this game was first announced, it looked super interesting, but it was really hard to tell exactly what the hell was the goal of the game and what was going on. So the developers explained that in their own words, and they also explained how they came up with the squid versus kid form, which is really interesting in my opinion, so check out this little clip.
Nogami-san actually came up with the squid idea. One day, out of the blue, he was like, hey, let's make them squids.
Rather than designing the characters and then making a game around that, we instead came up with the game first and then created characters we thought would work well with the gameplay.
From the get-go, Splatoon was a very interesting game, and so many people were just really curious about what it was really gonna end up being. They didn't yet know it was gonna be such a mega hit, but eventually the game came out in May 2015 to very high acclaim. Nintendo Life gave them a 9 out of 10, and in their conclusion they said that in a sea of rock-solid single-player Nintendo experiences, Splatoon is a standout as being an utterly sublime multiplayer endeavor. Splatoon is easily the freshest shooter in years and delivers superbly on all fronts. We have an inkling you'll love this. Glowing review from Nintendo Life, and then over on IGN, they gave it a solid 8.6, saying this about the game. Nintendo's take on the third-person shooter is refreshingly original and a whole lot of fun to play. And over on Metacritic, it was a solid 81. Now, I'm not going to say this game was like the best thing ever, but these are pretty high acclaim for the first entry into a series. But personally, I did not play this game at launch because I didn't yet have a Wii U. So in December 2015, for Christmas, I actually got the Wii U bundle, the black Wii U that came with Splatoon preloaded on there, as well as Smash Bros. Wii U. So that was really cool. Genuinely, the main memory that sticks out to me is just having a very fun time with it. I would sit for hours and play Splatoon, and I was a kid, so I didn't play super well or anything, but I did have a lot of fun. To be completely honest, I never ended up finding the single-player campaign until like years later after beating the campaign in Splatoon 2, but I ended up really truly enjoying this game, and this was my absolute shit for a very long time. So most of the time when I was playing online, it would be Turf Wars. I didn't even really realize that there was ranked and all that kind of stuff, and to be honest, I probably would have got my ass beat because I was so bad. But I also really enjoyed the co-op mode they had where you could play local split screen, which was super cool, and my brother and I would just hang out and do that, and it was super fun. Also, I really loved the use of the gamepad, the Wii U gamepad for this game. It was absolutely perfect. So if you needed to jump to a teammate really quickly, all you gotta do is tap on that gamepad screen. It's super intuitive and fun, and also it utilized gyro, which is iconic in Splatoon. But honestly, for this first one, I turned it off, so I really don't know how the gyro is in Splatoon 1 because I, as a kid, could never wrap my head around it. And even like when Splatoon 2 came out, I was really not feeling it. I like did not do very well with the gyro there. But on Splatoon 3, now I'm a big gyro person and I understand the importance of it. It's so much nicer because it's just like small little, precise movements that you need, and it's like almost the same feeling of preciseness that you would get from like a mouse. So I absolutely adore it, and I think it's like fantastic, and it's just really cool to see where that came from. It's been in Splatoon since the conception, and so I'm really happy that they've continued with it forward, and it really just provides a really great way to play the game. However, the best thing the gamepad did was allow you to play the best mode in the entire game. This little baddie called Squid Jump. So Squid Jump is a game that they have never brought back to the later entries of Splatoon, even with the cool little arcade thing that they do. But Squid Jump is basically a platformer where you play as this little squid and you're just jumping from platform to platform. It kind of gives Doodle Jump vibes if you weren't auto-jumping every time, but it's super fun and just kind of mindless, and the environments change, it gets slippery, and like my main memories of Splatoon 1 are about Squid Jump because I loved that game so much. Squid Jump was really cool the way that they implemented it because it would play during the loading screens. So when the game is trying to find you a match, all you would do is on the gamepad, you would have this little mini game that you could play and like fully enjoy everything about. It was so fun. And actually, I haven't played it since the server shut down, but I wonder, like, does that mean that though we can't play online anymore, can we even go into that lobby and try for a queue? Because that's the only way to play Squid Jump, I believe. Squid Jump was a lot of times to me more fun than the main game, and I'm so distraught that they have yet to bring it back to the actual, like, to Splatoon 3 and stuff. And it's cool that we have like this practice lobby now. It's more fun than just staring at a screen. I get that, but at the same time, like, I would always take Squid Jump over that literally any day. But for a first game, let's just talk about how full-featured this was. You had a single player. You had online ranked modes, which genuinely I never played. You also have Turf Battle, which is like the main thing of this whole thing. You've got Squid Jump, you got the arcade stuff, and you've got all this customization on the side. It feels like they just knew what they wanted out of Splatoon, and they really saw the potential early on. They realized that this could be a thing that carries Nintendo into the future and really puts them on the map. Now, obviously, it's still not the most mainstream thing. I mean, it sold a lot of copies, but if you go up to some rando who doesn't play video games, they probably won't know much about Splatoon. But what it did do was bring Nintendo kind of more relevant in the hardcore gamer space, I think. A huge rise in gaming popularity was third-person shooters and just shooters in general, and by Nintendo really trying their hand and doing something to completely Nintendoify it and make it their own, it made something so special and something that is still so relevant today. Think about it. You know about Splatoon. I know about Splatoon. I still play Splatoon 3. The Side Order DLC just came out for that. It was really good too. And I'm just saying, like, there was so much potential from this original release, and I think they really saw that and took advantage of that, and I hope to God Splatoon keeps coming. If they do something crazy and they just stop making them, I'm really gonna blow up, because they're very, very good games. So I absolutely adored Splatoon 1 when it first came out, and with the Wii U online server shutting down, it's officially over for the game, which is really sad, but I guess it's the way of the future. We can't expect these servers to just stay open forever, but at the same time, I really hate that I'll never be able to show my kids the wonder that was Splatoon 1 on the Wii U, at least in the way of the online modes with turf battles and all that, because you can still access the offline stuff like the campaign, which I might go back and play because I don't think I ever ended up beating it, because again, I didn't realize it was a thing until I was already playing Splatoon 2, so maybe I'll go back and do that. And you can also still play that co-op mode, which is really cool, and I appreciate that. And I really wish that they would bring co-op back into Splatoon, because I just remember playing that a lot with my brother, and it was very fun. Like, we would just hunt each other on the maps. Neither of us were really good, but it was really interesting, and I had a good time with it. Oh, how could I forget Miiverse? Let's talk about Miiverse real quick. Miiverse, with the shutdown of online, is also dead, obviously. However, Miiverse fed into Splatoon so well. You could create art and throw it into Splatoon, and it basically, what it did was establish a sense of community with each other. There was like metas, and there were actual people playing this game, and you felt connected sort of to each other, because it didn't feel like it was just this corporate thing. It felt like a thing that players were taking and making their own, and that's something I always really appreciate, and something that they have actually done really well with the next iterations, because though Miiverse is dead, it still allows you to customize and draw your own things and share art still, which I do appreciate. What are your memories of Splatoon? I love the game. I'm going to miss it. Did you play the first one? Let me know all that down in the comments below. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel. We hit 15K, which is huge. Thank you so much again. I super appreciate it. I stream all the time. It's a good time. Check out all the socials and whatnot down in the description. But watch this video. It's a banger. It's a vibe. It's a good time. And I will see you over there. Thank you so much for getting to the end of this. I appreciate you all. Sorry if I sound sick. I'm just allergy season, I guess, man. I don't know. I apologize. I know I'm going to get tons of fucking comments about it. This is just how I sound in the allergy seasons. I don't know what to tell you guys.